What up, folks? It's your pal, Coach Vino, and this is the Glass Half Full podcast where we turn setbacks into comebacks. Let's go.
Yo, 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 everybody goes through setbacks, but don't let these setbacks make you take a step back. Step back from the situation, put your brush down, envision the picture you're faith in, because everybody goes through setbacks.
All right. Welcome back to the podcast. I am Coach Vino, the people's bartender, and your certified coach from the Boogie Down Bronx. So I hope everybody in podcast land is doing well today. I've got a really good topic I want to talk to you guys today about. And it's about focusing on the solution and not the problem. And I want to start by asking you guys a question, right? I want you to think about how many times you found yourself stuck, right? Just kind of like spinning your wheels and worrying about the problem instead of figuring out how to fix it. You're just dwelling on the problem. It's just going through your head, running through your head. You're losing sleep. You can't focus. You can't concentrate because you're focusing on the problem. And look, we've all been there. Whether it's that dead-end job that you have, that relationship that feels like it's always on the rocks, that big dream that you've got that it just feels so far away that you don't even think it's possible. Well, here's the thing. I need you to really focus in on this one, okay? Focusing on the problem is like staring at a locked door while you're holding the key in your hand. You're so caught up at looking at the door, right, and wondering why it's locked that you forget you've got the power to open it right in your hands, right? When we dwell on problems, all we're doing is we're feeding fear, and we're feeding frustration, and we're feeding doubt. We're feeding a lot of negative thoughts patterns. You ever notice when you're stuck on a problem, it feels bigger than it really is, right? I like to say, you bump your knee, you go on Google, you find out, you have every disease in the world. You know what I'm saying? Because you're magnifying it. You just bumped your knee. But what ends up happening is like you're trying to drive forward while staring in the rearview mirror. You can't see the road ahead of you because you're too busy looking back. I'm not saying you should ignore the problems. Problems are real. It's a legit thing. Bills have to be paid. Relationships need work. Your health needs attention. But the real question is how much energy are you spending on complaining about the problem versus creating or searching for a solution? So what you need to do is shift your mindset. So how do you shift your mindset? How do you train your brain to start focusing on these solutions? Well, it starts by asking questions. Not just any questions, the better questions. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? What you should do is, what can I do about it? Instead of saying, this is impossible, what you should say is, what's one small step I can take right now to move forward? The power of better questions is pretty big. It's pretty massive. It's like flipping a switch on in your brain. You're no longer stuck in this victim mode, this victim mentality. Because now you're stepping into action mode. And action is where the magic happens. I want to share with you guys a real quick story, okay? A few years ago, I was working on a job and it drained me. It drained me. It was too many late nights. I couldn't. And every day I came home exhausted, complaining about how much, I don't know I could do it any longer. I spent hours just frustrated, stewing in my frustration. And then I had an opportunity for a wake-up call, right? I realized all the energy I was wasting on complaining, it could be used to figure out what my next move was. That's when I shifted my focus and I asked myself, what skills do I have that I can use to pivot into something I'm more passionate about? And that question is what led me to this, to being right here in front of you guys, coaching, podcasting, content creating, helping people tap into the best version of themselves. And let me tell you, it wasn't easy, but it's been worth it. So let's talk about some practical tips, some things you could do to kind of help you get there. Here are 3 steps that I want you to focus on today, okay? Change your language. Number 1, change your language. Replace I can't with how can I. You see the shift right there? It's a small little thing. Language shapes your thoughts, and your thoughts shape your actions. I always say the only thing more powerful than words is action, right? So you're talking about 2 very powerful things, words, and they lead to action. Number 2 is to break it down. Big problems can feel overwhelming, but if you break them down into smaller pieces and solve one piece of it at a time, that's how you make progress. And listen, progress is progress, no matter how small. I always talk on this channel about celebrating the small victories, because the small victories add up to big wins. And number 3 is getting resourceful. Think about who or what can help you. Is there a person that you can reach out to and ask for advice? Don't be prideful. Is there a book you can read? Don't be lazy. Is there a course you can take? Don't be shy. Solutions often come from expanding your perspective, not narrowing it. And look, here's the truth. Life is going to throw problems at you. That is a guarantee. What is it? Death and taxes, right? Death, taxes, and problems. But how you respond is up to you. You can sit and stare at the wall, or you can start building a door. Remember, you've got the key already. And it's not going to be easy. I can guarantee you this. Sometimes the solutions just aren't very obvious. Sometimes they're going to take time. But the more you focus on the possibilities instead of the obstacles, then the stronger and more resilient you will become. So, as I wrap things up today, I want to leave you with a little bit of a challenge. The next time you're faced with a problem, I want you to take a pause, right? Take a breath, a deep breath. Then ask yourself, what is the first step I can take toward a solution? Just one step, one little thing. And that's all it's going to take to shift your focus and start moving forward. Because once you set the ball rolling on trying to find a solution, you're just going to keep going. And eventually you will. And that, my friends, is the game change that we all need. Well, folks, I hope that you found this podcast useful. If you did, or if you know someone else that might benefit from this, please feel free to send it. Remember, sharing is caring. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave Coach Vino a review so you can help me feed the hungry algorithm. If you or someone you know would like to work with Coach Vino, you can visit my website at coachvinollc.com. And remember, folks, if nobody else tells you, Coach Vino appreciates you.
I find it hard to reveal these thoughts and express what I'm feeling in a hip-hop form. But I was born to succeed, so as long as I breathe, ain't nobody on this earth gonna crush my dreams. Yo, this might be the end of the verse, but this is just the start of a new beginning.